there. This is Real Talk Baseball. I'm Carlos Baseball. With me, as always, is Ernie Orange. We're back after not being here last week. We were off. We felt like we needed a little bit of time off, so we decided to have Will, get the show going, and he did. He did a great job, and I just want to give him a thanks for doing that on live show. But before we start our show, I need to see how's Ernie doing. And there's a lot of baseball right now. Ernie, how's it going, man?
Hey, thanks everyone for tuning in. We're happy to be back talking baseball for your Sunday night scaries out here. Really have some great news for you guys here today. Excited to be back. Yeah, last week was a vacation, but we're excited to get this going.
Hey, we better not be on vacation right now, dude, because we need to get through a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff happening in baseball, which is exciting. We're gonna go out through the ALNL weekend recap. We're gonna talk about Aaron Judge. Is he an MVP candidate? As it's looking right now, he started off slow and now he's just hitting home runs and driving in runs. And then we're gonna talk about Jose Ramirez. He's one of the players that doesn't get recognized a lot, and the Guardians are playing good baseball, so we'll talk about him a little bit too. We want to talk about Andres Galarraga. Is that his name? I don't think that's the correct name, but
Armando.
Armando. Why did I say Andres? I think I'm talking about because I saw the Rockies hat. But yeah, we'll talk about the 14 years ago. There was a wrong call, and it wasn't Angel Hernandez. It was someone else that made that call. So we'll talk about that as well. We'll talk about the Real Talk Baseball, rankings. Oh, I'm really messing up. Power rankings. Hey, we took a week off. This is what you can expect, right? Why not? And then, of course, we'll talk about the teams that have contention to make the playoffs and what moves they need to make in order to make them. And of course, we have injuries that we need to talk about. Ernie will give us certain injuries, and of course, we'll talk Acuna and what's the Braves planning to do with that. So you see, we have a lot of baseball to talk about, and it's all going to be here on Real Talk Baseball. So I mean, stick around, ask questions. If we're on and you have a question, we'll go ahead and post that for sure right on. But for now, let's get this going right now.
Today's show is presented by Rival Fantasy. Rival Fantasy is your all-in-one fantasy platform with games like best ball, challenges, and fantasy bingo. With downloading the Rival Fantasy app or using the rivalfantasy.com website, make sure to use Real Talk Baseball and we will match up to $200 for your first deposit. It's a great game, guys. I definitely recommend checking it out. Like I had mentioned previously in previous shows with Carlos, I think I'm going to get kicked out pretty soon, man. I keep withdrawing money because I keep winning. So let's get the show going, man. Power Hour Baseball. Let's go.
Yeah, man. Let's get it going, dude. Man, hey, I messed up on the intro, dude. My bad. I just had to get these butterflies out. Like I said, we haven't been on in a while, so it's like, oh man, I hope I don't mess up. But we're just gonna get through the show, I'm pretty sure. And if you have any questions, go ahead and post them. We'll go ahead and post them here. We can answer them. That's cool. This is what the show is about. We like to talk a lot of baseball. We like to talk current news, old news. If you have old news from back in the days, we would like to hear it as well. So, I mean, we already have Vincent on here. He's saying Jose Ramirez for MVP. Like, why not? He's an underrated player, and we are going to talk about him for sure. But before we go ahead and start, I just want to go ahead and put this on here. So, if you saw baseball today, there was a lot of teams wearing the number 4 on their jersey. And a lot of people were probably asking, why is this so? So every MLB jersey has a number 4 on it today in honor of Lou Gehrig Day, which is centered around giving hope to those fighting ALS. And if you don't know what ALS is one of those debilitating diseases where a person starts from, he could be at 100% and then tomorrow be at 60. And then in a month, he'll be dead. So it's a pretty frightening, scary, disease. And Lou Gehrig had it, and they named that after him, which is kind of crazy if you really think about it. But yeah, that's why they're wearing number 4. And I was interested on, like, when I saw it, I'm like, well, what's going on? Like, they didn't even mention it at the start of the game. So I'm like, okay, let me research it myself. So I went to X and I saw this. And I'm like, oh, that's good. That's a good awareness, So Why
It
not have
really
it on
is.
everybody's uniform? Yeah.
I was just watching the Phillies Cards game right now and Sunday Night Baseball, and they had one of the MLB ex MLB writers and producers, and that's currently dealing with ALS. And it was kind of unfortunate because she had a whole life got together working for MLB, and looks like she's struggling with the disease right now. And hoping the best for her. Her name is Sarah Langs, and she was on ESPN today. It was pretty cool.
Nice, dude. Nice. So, hey, I didn't even get to see the final score on that one. Who won this one?
Oh, Cardinals took it
The
on
Cardinals took it?
an extra innings in the 10th inning. Yes.
Wow, that's crazy, dude. So the
Sorry,
Phillies
Philly
won 2
fans.
out of 3 on that one. So I mean, I guess it is what it is. All right, man. You want to go ahead and start with the AL recap?
Yeah, let's get the show started. Today's weekend was pretty interesting. The AL recap started with the Tigers Red Sox. They went ahead and played 4 games this weekend, and they split the series 2-2. Both teams are playing 500 ball, and doesn't seem like it's getting any better for them. We have the Twins versus the Astros. The Twins went ahead and took 2 out of 3 in Houston. Jose Ramirez hits a leading off home run today to get the win. But what about Alex Bregman? He's heating up. 4 home runs in the last 6 games. Have we finally seen the best Bregman of the past coming back? We had the Rays versus the Orioles. The Orioles went ahead and took 2 out of 3. And, Rays get a comeback win today with Jose Siri 2-run double, which was great because or else they were going to get swept this weekend. We have the Pirates and Blue Jays. Blue Jays take the series winning 2 out of 3. And the Blue Jays now have won 5 of their last 6 games, which they keep improving. And I know people want to trade Bobichet and Glad already, but let's hold our horses. It's only the first week of June. It's got a lot of baseball left. Then we had the Nationals and Guardians, and the Guardians went ahead and took 2 out of 3. Jake Irving's strong performance today helped them avoid the sweep from the Guardians. We had the Padres and Royals. Padres went ahead and won 2 out of 3. And the Royals also fought back today, scoring 3 runs in the top of the 9th to avoid the sweep as well.
Yeah.
Lastly, we have the Angels and Mariners. Can we not talk about my Angels anymore, Carlos, at this point? They went ahead and got swept this weekend. The offense looks terrible, and the Mariners pitching staff is amazing. So that's why they're leading the AL West right now in first place.
Yeah, they are in first place, and I mean, I don't know, man. I think it's still early in baseball. Like I know it's the second. Well, we're in the 3rd month of baseball actually. So, yeah, it's time to start, selling or start buying because if you're gonna make those playoffs, and we'll talk about it as the show goes on, but. Some of those trades you talked about the Blue Jays, and we'll talk about that too. Like I said, we have a lot to cover, but if you're on there, you want to hear it now, go ahead and ask it now. But let me go over the NL recap. So we'll start with the A's and Braves. The Braves took that series out of the A's, so they got 2 out of 3. And then you got the D-backs and Mets. They had a 4 games, series, and they split the series on that one. You have the Marlins against the Rangers, and the Rangers took 2 out of 3, which, you expected. The Marlins are not playing good baseball right now, so that's what's going on out there. And then you have the White Sox and Brewers, and the Brewers swept that series. White Sox are having a little bit of trouble out there, and we'll talk about it after we get the recap. And I think it's going to be the first video we show because I think a lot of people are not really looking at the White Sox, and that was pretty interesting, the video we have, right? So then we have the Reds and Cubs. That's a good rivalry there. The Reds took 2 out of 3 from the Cubs, and the Reds are hot and cold. You don't know what you're going to get. They swept the Dodgers, they lost a series, and then lose another series. So it's like, what are we expecting? Like are they going to stay hot, or are they going to continue to kind of be up and down? So we'll see. Then you have the Yankees and Giants, and the Yankees came back on the Giants today. Soto hit that 2-run bomb, and they won the game. They swept the series, which was kind of amazing. Like the Giants were playing good baseball. They hadn't lost a series in 2 weeks, so that's pretty good. And then you have the Rockies and Dodgers. The Dodgers, they win that series. A lot of people were talking about why didn't they sweep them. Well, this is one of the points where you see the schedule and you see them go out east and then come back west for 3 games. And then now they're going back east to space another series. And of course, you're going to see the Yankees and Dodgers this weekend. And I think they're doing it to compete against the NBA because the NBA are in their finals, right? So it's my best against your best. So I think that's what's
true.
Right. So then you got the Cardinals and Phillies. Since the Cardinals won today, they didn't get swept, but they did lose the series. And the Phillies were, they're playing good baseball. But I just want to point out when we get to the power rankings, I'll give you why I didn't choose them to be one of the positions. And I think that's interesting. So we'll do that. All right, man. Let's talk about the White Sox. And you told me about it. You told me about it. I honestly didn't know until you told me. And I'm like, I went to Twitter or X and I saw it and I'm like, what the hell is going on? Like, what? Like, really, what's going on? So then I'm just like, oh, let's just put the video, man. You want to talk
Yeah,
about what
let's get it
happened here.
going. Today is an interesting play at the home plate. Tommy Pham heading to home. And, Willie Contreras waves him goodbye. It was an interesting interaction between them two. If you guys know, Tommy Pham is a special character out there. As you guys can see here, he's ready to fight. He said post-game that this is what he trains all off season for, to fight for moments like this. And the guy, I'm surprised he didn't throw some hands in the play, man. If Contreras is instigating this guy, I would avoid him at all costs. I'm really surprised that Tommy Pham didn't throw some punches out there, man. It's not looking great for the Chicago White Sox these days. They've lost 11 in a row. It's not a team that's going anywhere this season, unfortunately. But what an interesting moment. Do you think Tommy Pham was running in the wrong part of the lane right there while he was going home?
I mean, he was just trying to find a way to get into home plate. That's what every runner is supposed to do. Either the person that's at the plate behind the catcher, which is the on deck hitter, he's probably telling them inside, or I mean, in this case, it was inside, right? But usually that happens where the on what it was the on deck batter will tell him to go inside, outside, or down the middle, or down or up, stay up. So he was probably telling them to go in. You remember, you
Okay.
have 3 feet from inside and 3 feet outside the line of the base running line, so you can go ahead and do that. So for me, it was just like the ball was already there. He got gunned down,
Yeah.
and it was the third base coach that sent them. So I mean, it's on him. It's not on on Pham. But we already kind of known what Pham has been doing in the past, right? To where he's had issues with other players. Remember the incident where the fantasy football with Jock Peterson, he slapped them, and
Oh,
because they were there, he's saying that they're grown men. If you look at the video, he kind of says the same thing, and I'll go ahead and put it on here, and I'll try to make out what he said. But after this play, you see, they told him inside, and he didn't even touch home plate, to be honest. So Contreras did a good job, and he was over there, smack talking like you should. I mean, you got him out, right? He's a fast runner. So right here, he's over there, trying to get ready. So he's like, he just doesn't know, and I'm like, you don't want no problems. That's pretty much what he's saying right there. I mean, dude, you're looking at this and you're looking at a baseball player doing some moves to fight. He's just kind of like, it's kind of comical, but I understand them, dude. I get it. Like, it's just, the White Sox are not playing good baseball. Remember, Tommy Pham was one of the last signings that they did. They just got him like about a month ago. So he's
yeah.
coming to a team that's not playing good baseball, and I mean, it gets to you. It gets to you. I trust me. Like when you play with a team that doesn't play 500 ball or above 500 ball, and you're trying your best to improve that team, and it doesn't happen, that's where you're like, oh man, when is this team going to change it up? But yeah, it was kind
Yeah,
of
man.
interesting.
It's funny though. It's Contreras to blame to cause this. He instigated the whole thing though. He's the one at home plate waving him goodbye. Obviously he was clearly out, but I feel like I was shocked that Contreras went ahead and did that. That's unlike him. But I mean, at
Yeah,
the moment of the game, they were so pumped that they got him out. It was a crucial game time run. They avoided that and they ended up winning the game. So this
yeah.
is where the Brewers have to show their emotion, I guess, in a way, and they instigated Pham to get upset.
That's true. That's true. Well, let's move on, man. Let's talk about Aaron Judge. And one of the questions that we have on here was, is he the MVP? Looking at him like right now, he's hitting home runs, he's getting RBIs, he's doing the things for the Yankees that they need to do so they can make it to that World Series. I don't know if it's too early or too late. If you don't remember, Aaron Judge started really slow. And if you have him as a fantasy player, if you own him, if you're one of his owners, you're like, what the hell? When is he going to turn it on? And I mean, his numbers right now are looking ridiculous. He has 21 home runs, dude. And I have stuff here to talk about with him. Like I see, like, so Aaron Judge has 21 home runs. He's number one, number 5 in RBIs, which is 47. OPS, he has 1.075. That's the best in the league. We're talking about league. We're not just talking about AL, NL. We're talking about both leagues. Runs, he's in 743. Walks, he's number 1 with 48. And Ks, I mean, this is one of the things he needs to fix. He has struck out 69 times. He's the 11th in the league in strikeouts. So I think he needs a little bit more help on that area. But MVP numbers, do you think he's an MVP?
But right now, it's a close race between him, Jose Ramirez, and Cal Tucker. And I think Vincevich is right. Jose Ramirez makes a case for himself just the same way as Judge, especially how Judge started really slow in April. We were so a bit concerned because Juan Soto was seemed to carrying the team at that time, right?
Yeah.
But Judge has turned it around, man. He has been lights out, hits everything that's pitched to him. It feels like this California trip was just a difference maker for him. Got him pumped to come back home out here. And just in the last 29 games, he's hit 15 home runs, 29 RBIs, number one in OPS. This guy's must-watch TV right now. And when you pair him up with Juan Soto, it's the best 1-2 duo in baseball right now. And he finally has protection in that lineup he did not have last year. You know, it's a guy that last year they were all depending on him, but now he has a protection. The Yankees are doing such a great job with him in the lineup. Man, I don't know. It's too close. I know it's still early, guys. We still have 4 months of baseball left, but I still think right now Judge gets the edge over Jose Ramirez just because the way he's been dominating in the outfield and home runs.
And the Yankees are in first place, just like the Guardians are in first place. So Jose Ramirez is really underrated, if you ask me. Like, you talk about Jose Ramirez and you're like, who? Who is that? Who does he play for? The Guardians. So that's the problem. Like, a lot of people have Judge, and because he's with the Yankees, he's automatic on top of the ballot. His numbers say otherwise as well. His numbers are pretty good, but let's just say Jose Ramirez was to be up there. And does he get more validation and more votes because he's in a team that it's a little bit less recognized? And I kind of feel like because he's underrated, he's getting overlooked. Most of the times, you don't even have him in the conversation, and you have him fourth. They're voting for him fourth, fifth, and you're like, his numbers say otherwise to be a little bit higher in that, when they vote for him. So I honestly think if Jose Ramirez was in another team, I think he will be big time MVP. But I'll go over his numbers right now. So in RBIs, he has 57 RBIs, leading the league, not just the AL, he's leading the NL as well. So if there was one MVP for the league, he will be, one of the top players on there. Hits, he has 63, he's 22nd on that, but remember, you have to get hits, you have to get walks, you have to get on base in order to score. And for a lot of people saying that getting runs is not a big stat, it is a big stat because you have to get on, move over, and score. If you don't do that, you're not relevant in baseball. So Jose Ramirez is doing that, dude, and I kind of like that. So in home runs, he has 16. He's 6th in home runs. All but baseball, remember. I'm not just talking about AL. And another stat that I kind of want to point out is OPS. He's .870. If you're over 800, you're considered one of the greats. So, I mean, what else can we say about this underrated MVP candidate?
You're totally right. Jose Ramirez is the most underrated baseball player we have at this moment. Plays for a really small market team like with the Cleveland Guardians. It was crazy because Cleveland told him, we cannot afford you. We cannot pay you over $200 million. And he said, who cares? Just pay me whatever you got. He took a $50 million pay cut, guys, to stay with the Cleveland Guardians. Any other guy would have chosen to go to a big market and grow his name. He said, with $150 million, my family will still live really well.
Yeah.
He really didn't care. He just wanted to stay in Cleveland, and has proven like the best choice. Continues to get on base, continues to get base hits, always with the clutch hitting. And man, this guy is just amazing. Must watch TV as well. Also in the race for MVP. And like Vincentovich said the same thing as me, took $50 million less. Hey, man, what can you say about the guy? Who does not love this guy, He also knocked out Tim Anderson. The guy could box. He has it all. Everything. He's a 5-tool player, man. What can you expect?
Hey, that was a pretty cool. So that stat right there, a knockout, just kind of gives you a better, understanding of Jose Ramirez knocking him out at second base. And if you haven't seen that video, we have it on our shorts, and you can go ahead and check it out. But I want to talk about this, Judge and Soto. Fair, give me Ramirez and Naylor. Naylor is one of the top players with the Guardians as well. So you start talking about these teams and you start saying, okay, where is the players from the Guardians? Like, I don't really know, because they're not really a nationwide known team. The Yankees are. You have Soto and Judge, but this is a fair competition right here. Who would you take out of this powerhouse, Judge and Soto, or Ramirez and Naylor?
Hey, I just went to the Angels-Yankees game this week, and after watching Judge and Soto and batting up close, it has to be Judge and Soto, guys. These guys are monsters in there. They make everyone else look small, and the power they have on the field, and they're just amazing players, guys. Must watch TV. If you have the chance to go see the Yankees live, I would recommend it. I know you're gonna have to pay a little extra. Just do it. It's worth it. Just saying. I know Naylor. And trust me, I know Naylor's a great player, but I think Judge and Soto are just two Hall of Famers in the middle of the lineup that you have to see.
Yeah, and if you don't remember, Naylor was with the Padres. He got traded to the Guardians for, I want to say, what's the guy with the long hair? I can't even think of his name right now. Clevenger. Yeah, Clevenger. So he's out there, and Tim Anderson never recovered. You're right, Vince. He never did. Like he took forever to sign with a team. I guess no one wanted him after he got knocked out. And I think you got to give it to Ramirez. He's changed his career. Like he pretty much he's not really known anymore. So I think that's one of the highest highlights he had in the Wild. So I mean, it sucks for him, right? All right, let's talk about this one. And Neto's saying, what y'all think about the Mets and Phillies in London next week? That's going to be a great series, man. We've talked about it here, how we like when teams go to other, countries and they expand the MLB brand, because that's what it is. It's just, it's too early to start doing things like that. Like, I think, not too early. I think it's a little too late. They should start at the beginning. I think when the season starts, that's when they need to start doing those things, because you're in the middle of the season and you're going out there. It's a two-day flight if you really think about it, and then 2 day back. So you have that jet lag. You kind of have that jet lag when you go to the East Coast if you're from the West Coast, or vice versa. So I mean, I'm excited for it. I can't wait for it. So it's gonna be an early game. What was it at 5-6 in the morning? If I'm not mistaken. Or we're waking up at 7 in the morning on Sunday. We'll get to see that.
Ready.
Exactly. So we're going to get to see that.
I'm excited for the London series. It's two NL East rivals going at it. And with a hot team like the Phillies these days, I just want to see how the Mets react once they have to face them, because this Mets team has been struggling lately, guys. And it's not the same team we saw earlier when they faced the Dodgers. This Mets team has been interesting to watch. I'm excited to see who they're going to trade in the middle of the trade deadline, because I don't know, man. It's not looking great. Pete Alonso just got banged up recently. Lindor's not playing at his tier level. JD Martinez just returned from injury. It's a lot of question marks with that Mets organization.
Yeah, there's a lot of question marks. And there was a player that threw a glove because he couldn't, pitch right, and he threw his
Jorge
glove.
Lopez.
He threw his glove into the stand. So whoever got that glove is lucky, man. They're like, I got a major leaguer's glove. I'm just going to put it there for everybody to see. So,
hey, but do you think it was right from the Mets to cut him right after that performance? I know he threw the glove into the stands, and Carlos Mendoza, the manager, went and has said that the Mets have standards and they shouldn't be doing stuff like that. But wait a second. In other leagues, players do this as well. They throw stuff into the stands all the time. I just think it's BS. I think he just was having a poor performance, and the Mets just didn't want to pay the guy the rest of the money they owed him.
And you know what? It sucks because he has so much background issues going on. And I just feel like the Mets took that approach just because he did that. He wasn't performing bad. He wasn't performing like, oh, he's one of our best relievers. But you kind of don't want to cut him. I mean, he's dealing with things outside of work. Maybe you should focus on try to see what I can do to help this guy. You have other organizations reaching out to players that are in the streets to try to help him with mental health issues. I'm not saying that's what he's going through, but he does have a son that's in the hospital, and he's trying to get a transplant. Yeah, for him. So I don't know if it's a lung transplant or what is the other? I think I'm not sure which one it is, but whatever it is, like I think the Mets did a poor job of it. They should have kind of talked to him and let him know, like, hey, we're going to cut you, but we're still going to keep you in our medical, whatever you need, we're here if you don't find another team. So I think that's what the approach they should have took, like, wow. I just feel like cutting them right there. It's just adding more stress, dude. Like,
Yeah, man. And then the reporters ruined his translation. I'm not sure if you guys heard, but he tried to say he was the worst teammate in the world in the MLB. And then the reporters went ahead and switched it to, this is the worst team in the MLB. And it made him look like a really bad guy, when in reality, he meant to say something else. And now they're hearing this background story. This is just even worse. That poor guy is going through a lot, and I feel like he should have still sticked around. It's just this Mets team is not going anywhere, and they're just basically going to dump everyone out at the trade deadline, and that's what's going to happen.
Yeah. Well, we did say we were going to talk about some umpires, and it's not Angel Hernandez. I know you guys desperately want us to talk about him, but we're not going to throw no shade. Happy for you. You did your career with the MLB. You need to get your eyes checked, of course. Anything else you want to add to Angel Hernandez before we move on with this one?
I was going to say happy retirement, man. I think everyone that's MLB and MLB fans are happy to see you go. We happy for your service, but it's time for some new, fresh umpires out there.
Yeah, we need to see more mess ups. But this mess up happened a long time ago, and I'll go ahead and play the video.
There is Jim Joyce crossing the threshold right now, and hopefully Tigers fans will give him a hand. You can see the emotion on the face of Jim Joyce. Oh, this
is... Wow. That's an interesting one. I'm not sure if you guys do recall, but 14 years ago today, Armando Galarraga threw a 28-pitch, complete game, perfect game, and Jim Joyce calls the last out safe. And it was one of the worst mistakes he's ever made. He even says he cheered up after he watched the replay. You got to remember, guys, there was no replay back then in baseball, and this is what's been great. Instant replay has changed the game forever, because calls like this is what affected the outcomes of a lot of games.
Yeah.
You have this perfect game that just got ruined because of Jim Joyce, a human being, human error, and it could happen, right? But this is why we have instant replay to fix that at the spot. And it's one of those where, should the MLB change the rule? I mean, not to change the rule, but change the outcome of the game? Yes, it should definitely be a perfect game. We'll call it a 28-out perfect game, because at the end of the day, it was a perfect game.
But that takes a lot, right? I mean, the Tiger fans should cheer for him. Did you hear what he said in the video? Like, why would I cheer for a guy that messed up, the guy that I came and see throw a perfect game, and you kind of destroyed it for the man? And as a fan, I should cheer for that? No, you messed up, and you could have fixed it. You could have gone to the other umpires and said, hey, I messed up. Can you guys, you guys saw the other angle. Can you guys help me out? Because umpire can go ahead and do that. Jim Leland was there. He told him, like, hey, what the hell are you talking about? He was furious, like he didn't get kicked out because he knew he had messed up. So that argument didn't last as long. But after the game, that's when they went off on Jim Joyce, and that's when he heard it. So I honestly think that if they go ahead and do that, they need to do a big ceremony for him, probably even give him a car. I mean, I don't know, dude. Like, it's already like, what, 14 years you said? That's a long time, dude. And they still haven't even looked at it to change the call. It's just, come on, man. It's one of those impressive performances that you don't get to experience every year, or maybe every 5 or 10 years. You don't get to experience those things. So for him, it sucked. I know Jim Joyce was like one of those umpires where he's come on podcasts and he said, like, I don't know what happened that day that I messed up on that call. And he's come out and said that. But like, as a fan, would you cheer the umpire when they were coming out? I think I will boo him, to be honest.
Yeah, you're obviously going to boo him. As a fan of baseball, you want the right calls at all times. Look how we treat Angel Hernandez. I mean, the guy gets bad treatment anytime he's out in the field. It's one of those where you just want the calls to be done right. And it's unfortunate. Jim Joyce apologized, right, and acknowledges that he was wrong. But at this moment, MLB has to get it right and fix the stat and call it a perfect game. That's true. I think they will. I think down the road, 20 years from now, it's going to come back and they will go ahead and change that stat sheet.
That's true. Vince is saying, Angel, statistically, it's better than has been painted. So, I mean, only time will tell as we get, I guess, more advanced in baseball with technology and all these things happening. We probably will get away with the square in this TV that's saying, oh, that's a strike. Like, no, because sometimes those things are not calibrated. I mean, we don't know if they get calibrated. We don't know if those squares on the TV are correct. So, and that human error, umpires are human too. Remember that. Like, I remember I told you I umpired a game and I felt so guilty on some of those calls. I went to sleep and I'm like, oh, that was safe. No, that was out. I'm like, oh, hell no. I'm going to sleep thinking about it. I cannot be an umpire. Don't ever let me do that again. if I tell you, you tell me, don't do it. Don't do it.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Let's go through the injury reports, dude. You have
for
the
sure.
list. Yeah, go for it.
Dude, the game of baseball, man. There's just so many injuries these days. It's unheard of. I have just never seen so many injuries in the game of baseball. It's hurting us in fantasy baseball, even hurting teams. I feel like we're watching a bunch of minor leaguers in the MLB these days just because of the amount of injuries. But some of the injuries we got going on right now, I'm not sure if you guys are aware, Jorge Mateo left today's game because Cedric Mullins accidentally hit him with the baseball bat while he was practicing on the on-deck circle. Looked like a kind of a head injury, which didn't look great. Blake Snell left today's 5th inning with a groin injury. I know you were just dealing with one this year, and I know how painful they were. Yeah, so Blake Snell will be joining the 15-day IL. Ranger Suarez got hit with his left hand contusion with a 106-mile fastball with a line drive, and it's not looking good. Andrew
Before you
Benintendi.
continue, I have Suarez on my fantasy team, and I'm not a Philly fan by far. I don't even think I'm a Philly fan, but I have Suarez on my fantasy team. This man needs to come back. Hurry up and come back.
Like that, huh? You
Yeah,
that
like that.
desperate?
Yes. I need him. I need him to throw
Oh
next week for
man,
sure.
we got, we got Andrew Benintendi dealing with a heading to the 10-day IO as well with a left Achilles tendonitis. We have Bond Grissom, the guy that got traded for Chris Sale, also
Mhm.
heading back to the IO with a hamstring injury.
Yeah.
Michael Walker is joining the 15-day IL as well with this Royals hot team with a small fracture on his left foot. So we don't know his timetable return just yet.
Mhm.
Musgrove and Darvish are out as well,
Yeah.
dealing with elbow and hamstring injuries. It's a big injuries for the Padres rotation because they're doing pretty good right now, and they really desperately need this starting rotation to make some noise in the playoffs.
Yeah.
But another good news, Garrett Cole will come back this Tuesday with a rehab assignment, and it's expected to come back sometime this week or next. So Yankee fans, get ready. Your best ace pitcher is coming back. Hopefully he finds his groove because, they're going to need him in October to make a deep run.
They are. I think they should take their time. I think the Yankees are doing
Definitely.
enough to stay on top. I don't think they should rush him. I think they should take their time with Cole. And if it comes to where like he gets hurt from his elbow again, I mean, you know what that means is Tommy John. Might as well take care of it now than later. You're gonna need him later, so let him rest. Let him rest. Don't rush him. I think that's one of the things. And then we didn't talk about Acuna, but Acuna happened last week, and they talked about or what? Yeah, right, last week, and they were talking about it. We're hearing rumors, and these are just rumors. Springer going to the Braves, and that's going to happen if the Blue Jays decide to start selling. If they start selling, then the Braves are, one of the top ones trying to get Springer. And do you think that's a good trade for the Braves?
Oh, I love the trade. I'm the first time hearing it with you right now, but I really like that move. I think the Blue Jays are definitely should sell. And George Springer and that lineup would just do great for the Braves because you're talking about an experienced right fielder that would come in that plays really great defensively and could provide some offense for your team. And that's what you desperately need because this Braves team right now, they're winning, but it's
Yeah.
not looking great. It's not looking like that Braves team we saw last season. So I'm concerned going forward because I don't see them making that much of a deep run in the playoffs. Now that you lost Strider and Acuna, that's some two huge losses. Let's see. Neto says even
That's
when the
true.
Philly
That's
stars go
true.
down,
I
they
kind
get.
of see it happening.
Sorry. I was repeating what Neto says. When Philly stars go down, they get replaced by guys who, for her,
Yeah.
however long they're needed, turn into stars this season. And you're totally right, man. You got Alec Baum, Bryson Stott, Brandon Marsh, Johan Rojas. Guys are making a name for themselves once they play with the Phillies.
And Vince is saying Vlad Guerrero to Cleveland. So the general manager came out. Ernie, you read up on what he said, right?
Yes. Today's Blue Jays GM just said Vlad Guerrero and Bo Bichette are not going to be a part of the trade deadline, and they're not selling anytime soon. I'm not sure I
Yeah.
believe him. I think he's just saying
So
that
that's a
right
bad
now.
thing. That's a bad thing for Cleveland. Or we don't know. The right trade might happen. The right trade might happen, and they would say yes. They're gonna be like, okay, I'll go ahead and trade them. I'll go ahead and do that. So the Braves won the World Series last time without Acuna. I know they did, and they had Peterson, they had Soler, and they had I forget
Rosario.
the other guy that was part of that outfield, that trio. Rosario. And dude, they won the World Series without him. So maybe this year is something that can happen again. So I hope not. I'm not a Braves fan, so I don't want them to win. I mean, I guess you guys know that I'm a Dodger fan, and of course I want my Dodgers to win. But I just like talking baseball, and if they trade them, I will love that for sure. So I mean, it's going to happen, and when it happens, we'll be on here live because we're planning to get on when we have the trade deadline happening. So what's up, everybody? I see Javier on here, so I don't know if you want to read this, Ernie.
Oh, he's basically saying I need that revenge game. Unfortunately, Javi came up short. Lost by 4 points on fantasy baseball today. Sorry, man. Let's Lins was just not the answer for you, bro. I'm actually 9-0 in fantasy baseball. It's my first time playing since 2013, and I can't believe I'm 9-0. To be honest, I'm probably the weakest player in that league, but somehow managing to win these games.
Wait. Say it again. You're 9-0. Say it. You're 9-0.
Yeah,
That's
not
good.
To brag or nothing, but we're staying on top.
I'm not trying to brag, but I'm trying to brag. So Anthony's saying teams Dodgers, and Los Dodgers. I'm like, okay, well, we'll see. We'll see at the end of the season, man. I want to go ahead and celebrate at the end of the season, but it's still a long ways. We'll wait. Yeah, dude, there's a lot of baseball. Jamal, thank you for jumping in, man. We have a good size of people here. If you guys can go ahead and hit that like button and share the video if you guys can. We're having a good time right now. We're talking nothing but baseball, current and past, but right now we're in current. We're waiting for a trade to happen with the Braves and see who are they going to get. We were just talking about Springer might be a good fit for them. So, Jamal, so to piggyback off of Nickel, so Spencer Turnbull and another prime example from a pitching standpoint. Even with Suarez out, you get a lucky like Turnbull, and to make it happen, Philly is deep. They're really deep. And when you're talking about the Phillies, always talking about we don't care about the season, we just care about getting into the postseason. That just tells you right there what mindset they have. They have a different mindset than the other teams. And being the best record in baseball right now, they still, or is it the Yankees now? I don't know who took over today. But yeah, they're still one of the top teams in baseball in record wise. They're just, amazing. And it is going to be kind of scary to see them in the postseason. But there's still time, man. There's still 3 months to go. There's still trades to happen. And if you're a big time baseball fan, don't you love when they trade players and you're like, hell yeah, my team is getting better. They just got this guy. They just got that guy. Like, oh, I'm just waiting for that. So, Ernie, Are we good? I think we were kind of like then choppy. So
I feel like you're a bit delayed, man. You're a bit delayed on me. But yeah, we're having a lot of excitement. I see that the Royals hat you're wearing, Carlos. Yeah, I was about to mention it, man. You got the City Connects over there. What about the jersey?
Dude, I like the hat. I like the jersey. Is one of the few that I like from the City Connect jerseys that I've gotten, that I've seen. Unfortunately, I don't like the Dodger one. They did a poor job of that. They should have done a lot better. They should have done more research. For being a big city, they didn't do good. But the Kansas City one, I like the hat. That's why I went and got it. And it's I can't wait to see other City Connect jerseys, man. I like the Angels one. That one for me was one of the tops because that just says California for me. So, see, they could have done that. The Dodgers could have done something so simple, and I would have been happy. Yeah, yeah, dude. All right, let's keep going with the questions here. Okay. If I'm not putting your question, I'm sorry, man. There's just a bunch popping up. World Profound. Thanks for coming on, dude. Everybody's coming on right now. That's cool.
This is great. This is what makes the show really fun.
Yeah. Yes, it does. Yankees versus Dodgers series, June 7th and 9 will be a great litmus test to see who is the best MLB team, and we will see what's happening this weekend, and we'll see who's the best. We have World Profound. What's up, dudes? What's up, man? Thanks for joining in, man. Any questions? Go ahead and pop them up here. What else? That'll be a great series. Bookings suggest Yanks. Yeah. Well, Phillies in the mix too, and don't forget about the Braves. I know they're dealing with their little, injuries. They're still there, so. All right, the Red City Connects is dope. They are dope. I'm not gonna lie, they are dope. That's another City Connect jersey that I would like to buy. I like the Mariners as well. I'll just go ahead and point that out. The Mariners ones are pretty legit too. And Philly, did you like the Philly jersey? Yeah, since we're talking a lot about the Phillies.
Yeah, it's really nice. I actually really like it. Because there's a lot of teams that, wait a minute, I don't like their City Connects, but Phillies one was one I did like.
Yeah, pretty dope. And I'll rock that hat too. I won't rock the red one. I'll rock the City Connect. Yeah, yeah, man. I think I'm. Hopefully, you guys are not sensing a little hate, but I have to. I mean, why not? We're in West Coast. They're in East Coast. The Braves are kind of not playing that good, so we'll see. And we had a question not too long ago on YouTube. that some of the Reds and Dodgers series have been kind of close, and they're bringing back of that 70s 80s rivalry, which is, that's
Yeah.
always good when you have other divisions that you have a rival with. That's pretty dope. And if you don't remember, the division was the Reds and Dodgers that were together in the division, so that's why that rivalry exists there. So that's pretty dope. Let's see. I like the blue in the Philly jersey, definitely.
Cool,
What
cool.
else? The
You ready
color
for the
scheme of
power
the Mariners.
rankings?
Yeah, we can go ahead and do that. I'm just gonna get this last comment here, and we'll put it on there, and then we see dope. And then Jose Velasquez said, "So Javier, ¿qué ondas, fools? What up, dude? And we're just
Is
here,
that
man.
translation?
Yeah, yes." And we just did the
Oh.
translation. All right, let's go ahead and put our power rankings up. And if you don't like it and disagree, help us out to get it better. Here we go.
Oh man, I didn't agree with a lot of your picks today, Carlos. I actually have the Padres making the top 10. They've just been one of the hottest teams lately, winning a lot of series. I got the Royals at 9. The Braves are in the decline, even though they're 9 games above 500, but they've been not playing the best baseball just of yet. And with losing Acuna, I just don't see them being the strongest team. We got the Mariners making some noise with their strong starting rotation, that's why I'm moving them to 7. The Brewers continue to be in first place, and they faced a hot Cubs team, and they faced their old manager, but they found ways to win this series, and that's why I have them in the 6th spot. Guardians at number 5, man. I know they're hot, and I know how great Jose Ramirez is playing, but Neto just mentioned earlier in the comment section that they went 3 for 3 this week, and that's where I have them at 5. And then we have the Dodgers. They're just playing. They're just cruising, man. It's just early June, second day of June, and there's no rush. This is number 4, but they should be number 1. Orioles number 3, and as everyone knows, Yankees, Phillies 1 and 2. What do you guys think, Carlos? Do you agree with me?
No, man, that's why we have different rankings, which is a good thing. Like we don't want to have the same and be like, oh yeah, I agree with you. Look, the first 2 teams we agree, and the Yankees are number 1 because they did sweep the Giants, and I'm going based off a logic that someone was arguing with me on YouTube and saying that the Phillies, had just swept the Padres and the Padres beat the Dodgers. How could the Dodgers be on top of that week? I was talking about 3 weeks ago, and now I have the Yankees number 1 because they're playing good baseball. They've won 8 of their last 10, which are playing incredible baseball. You have Soto, you have Judge, you have everybody playing good baseball there. Now the Phillies, they lost the series against the Giants. And like I said, the logic that I'm using is because I had that argument with a Phillies fan on YouTube. So I'll leave that there. Next, number 3, I have the Guardians. The Guardians are playing good baseball. And this is where I feel like this underrated with Jose Ramirez and Naylor. And you have all these cast members with the Guardians that are not even mentioned. So number 3, did you pick the Orioles because they're more recognizable? I don't know. We'll leave it there. I just feel like the Guardians deserve the 3 for me.
Okay.
The Dodgers, like you said, they're not playing. They're playing good enough to stay there. They are in first place in the West, but they're not like. I mean, for me, I'll leave them at 4, and you have them at 4. I think we agree on that. So we agree on 1, 2, and 4, right? And then we go to number 5, the Orioles. The Orioles number 5 because they are playing good baseball, but I just feel like these 4 teams ahead of them are doing a little bit more than the Orioles. And maybe it's because I'm not hearing about the Orioles so much. I'm hearing about, other teams. We're hearing about the Pirates. We're hearing about Skeens. We're hearing about, I don't know. We're hearing about Judge, and we're not hearing anything about the Orioles right now. So I think that's where I'm at with the Orioles. Then I have the Braves. If you guys kept been keeping up with our show, we had the Braves 1, 2, 3, and then last week we didn't do it because we didn't get on. But they have been playing okay baseball since Acuna, and if I'm not mistaken, they can't win a game where they don't score before the second inning. They'll lose their game. I think they're 0-13 or 0-14. So that's a stat that someone should look at and be really like a concern about that. And then I have the Royals. The Royals, man, they haven't moved for me. I think they're okay. They're good. They can be better. I mean, they could have won the series against the Padres, but the Padres are playing good baseball. You have them at 10. I had them at 11. So, I could have probably moved them with the Twins. And then I have the Brewers. The Brewers are playing good baseball. They were out of the power 10 for me, and now they jump in. The Mariners, they're jumping in. They're number 1 in the West. I just feel the West don't have enough competition. We thought the Houston Astros were going to be there. They looked like they were coming back, and then boom, they slow down. And then right now it looks like they're coming back, and we'll see what happens right next week. And then the Twins. The Twins for me have the edge on the Padres because they are in second or third place in contention for playoffs. Not that the Padres are not. Like I said, I have them on 11, but it's just the Twins are in a better spot, in a better position if you look at it, if you look at the standings and winning percentage. So there you go. You have, if you don't agree with it, I mean, go ahead and let us know. So I'll go ahead and start putting messages here. Let's see.
Yeah, man, it's kind of similar. Like I said, I just think the Brewers are at 6, and I think that's where it kind of surprises a lot of people. But the Brewers are 8-2 in their last 10 games, and I think that's where it's been most impressive. You could say the Mariners as well. West is kind of weak this year, and I know the Astros are not playing up to their level, but I mean the pitching is doing such a great job, and they're also 7 wins in the last 10 games. That's something to talk about, right? They are playing good baseball. But I know the Orioles, I know you said they're just like, it's just because they're more popular than the Guardians. That is true. But that's a young Oriole team that continues to play really well, and they still continue to dominate their division. So I give it up to them because they're 17 games above 500, and who would have thought this young Orioles team would be doing this great?
Yeah, and you know what's crazy to me? I feel like the Guardians. So you got the Guardians, the Royals, and the Twins in my power rankings, and we've always talked about how the AL Central is not as competitive. And when I see these 3 teams on my power rankings, I'm like, man, I'm eating my words, because I used to say like and we said it at the beginning of the season, that's going to be a division that's up for grabs, and it is up for grabs, but they're super competitive in that division right now. And the Royals did enough of signing like their veteran pitchers to be in the mix. The Twins did the same, and then the Guardians, like you had the Guardians where you had your pitcher, you had your pitchers, and you're like, wait, do I have enough? Am I going to have enough? Even though I didn't trade for a lot of people. So there you have it, man. Hopefully you guys, if you guys are going to agree, that's cool. Give us your power rankings. It's hard to kind of pick, right? Who are the players, or I mean, who are the teams that are on top? We're not just going based on record. We're going on based on who's playing and performing really well. Of course, if we have a 15 on our power rankings, we're not going to move them to number 1 right away. No, they have to prove themselves week by week. And that's how we're doing it, right? Like they were supposed to. So we got Neto, and they got Royce Lewis coming back on Tuesday, which is damn.
That's good news.
That's really good news. The Guardians had 3 seems crazy to me, but your breakdown helped me understand. Did I really? I don't know. Hopefully I did. So tell me why you have the Padres at number 10. I think I'm kind of stunned on that one.
Are you?
Yes.
The Padres have been winning a lot, guys. Have you guys not been watching? They went ahead. The only series they lost recently was against the Yankees. And I mean, they are the number 1 team for a reason, right? But they won this weekend in Kansas City, winning 2 out of 3. And that's not easy to do against a hot Royal team. Who else did they play? They also played the Marlins. So they went ahead and won 2 out of 3. They won 2 out of 3 at Cincinnati. And they won 2 out of 3 in Atlanta. And for me, that's why they've been the most impressive team. And that's why they should be in top 10, even though the record is like 2 games above 500. But honestly, the way they're playing the last 2 weeks of baseball, that's why I have them up at 10. I know the Twins, guys, they started 7-13, like Vince said, and then they went ahead and won 12 straight. But they kind of stayed cool off. I know they're getting some help back with Royce Lewis coming back, but I have the Padres just playing a little bit better ball these days. And it's unfortunate that Arias, I'm not sure if I did mention the injury part, but Luis Arias also left today's game with a shoulder injury. So now you got 3, you have Arias, Sander Bogarts, Musgrove, and Darvish out, and they're still finding ways to win. So you got to give it to them.
Damn, dude. And those players are really big for the Padres. I don't know if it's because right now you're like, if you have a little injury, something that doesn't hurt as much as it will, like when you get hit by a ball or, have a twisted ankle, it's probably the time of year that is happening. You're like, you know what? We're 3 months in. Let's go ahead and if you're a little injured, let's go ahead and give you a 10-day rest and then we'll continue. Because baseball's played every day. People forget that it's played every day. And at a professional level, oh my God, that's tiring. So these stars are playing every day, and I mean, come on, man, you have to give it to the people and to the players all the time when they go to the IO. It's not just about their injuries; it's about getting better and coming back and pulling together and playing better. I like your number 10, Ernie. I'm not gonna lie. I just questioned it because I wanted you to break down a little bit more. I agree with you. The Padres are playing really good baseball, and I feel like the Padres, with these injuries happening right now, and it's happening at a good time if they want to make that playoff push, which I think they are probably going to make it into the wild card or even probably win the division. So the way the Dodgers are playing, they're playing. They're kind of like in that cruise control, I want to
Yeah.
say. So we'll see when they start playing it up. And then the San Francisco Giants. I know they just got swept, but before that, they were playing good baseball. You had Chapman hitting home runs and hitting for average, getting on base, doing everything he could. He got hot at the right time. So this is good. This is good. So next month, All Star is going to happen, and then we're going to start seeing some trades, and that's when the baseball is going to happen. So, oh my gosh, shut your mouth. What are you talking about? Are you talking because I'm saying the Padres? I know you love the Padres, dude. So that's why we're bringing them up.
Tony, what's going on, man? All right, let's get the show started, man. I got a trivia question for you today. And anybody in the chat out there, help Carlos out. I think this is going to be one that's going to stump you today. I was like, I need to get a good one. So, yeah, let's get this one going. The trivia question. Can you name me the player that has won the MVP in the American League and the National League?
For what year?
Oh, just in MLB history. Do you know any player or players that have won the AO and NL MVP?
Oh, and dang. Oh, okay. So
in the regular season, right? So we're talking about
season.
A player that's won AL MVP, NL MVP in the regular season on both sides, which is not easy to do.
It's not because I was gonna say World Series. You have Corey Seager.
That's too easy.
That's too easy. Just too current. I think that's what it is. Damn, you put a tough one on me, dude. Like this one's gonna be kind of hard. That's what she said. Hold on. I'm trying to see. I'm trying to see. Give me some. What year at least was the last one? That way I can kind of pinpoint if I can get that. If I can't, it's okay. Or give me. No, teams is too easy. Give me. It's too easy. I think.
You don't know. Let me tell you. I guess he used to manage the Washington Nationals. How about that one?
The Washington. Shit. Yeah. Okay, hold on. You had this one's tough, dude. This one's tough. Did he coach? Did he coach the Astros?
No.
I don't know if this is correct right here. Frank Robinson, Neto. He's correct.
Yeah, it's actually Frank Robinson.
Dude, I had no idea.
He said I cheated. Still wrong. Come on, not gonna cheat like that. But yes, it was definitely Frank Robinson. He won one in 1966 with the Reds, and then 71 with the Orioles.
Joe Morgan. Damn, I don't. With the Reds, who else? No.
Yeah, so the answer is Frank Robinson. Yeah. So the answer
is he the only one though?
The one and only.
Yes. Are you serious?
Yep.
Nah, I didn't know that.
I couldn't believe it either. I swear I was like looking for more people. Like it has to be someone else. I mean, the next one is going to be Shohei, and that's without a doubt, right? So it looks like Shohei will be joining them soon once he starts pitching.
Maybe you don't know injuries. I know people are like, don't say that. Yeah, that was a quote from The Office, a pretty famous one. I just wanted to, say it for Michael Scott. But it is a tough one, dude. It's a real tough one, Vince. Yeah, man. Now all the 10 people on here, like they're a little smarter now. Now they know who it is. So Frank Robinson is the only player that has been MVP in the two leagues. For what teams do you have it? Do you have for what teams he did it with?
So 1966 was with the Reds, Cincinnati Reds, and 1971 with the Baltimore Orioles.
Oh, okay. Now I need to remember that one for whenever it pops up to get free something. I know. It's Frank Robinson. Yeah, so I should be able to know, dude. That one's a crazy one. I did not know that. Did you know that before you researched it, or?
The funny thing is that when I was a little kid, I wrote a report on Frank Robinson. Why? I don't know why. I still to this day, I was like, I had a autobiography, a biography paper on Frank Robinson. Well, out of all people, why Frank Robinson? To this day, I'm trying to remember that back in school days.
Yeah. And did you write that though? Did you write that part?
I remember it being there. Yeah,
Man, dude.
but
As
I
a
thought
kid doing that though, you're
but I thought there
like,
was
what?
more players. I thought there was way more players doing this. I didn't know it was Frank Robinson was a one and only. You know what I mean?
The, I didn't know that. I thought there was at least 3 or 4 that you can
Right.
mention, but
That's what I
one,
thought.
only one. That's a great stat to have by yourself. That's a big honor, dude. I don't know why this man is not mentioned to be like one of the biggest players in the MLB. I mean, I know he's really known, but I think he should be a lot known. I mean, knowing that I was gonna say Eddie Murray, dude. I don't know why I was going to say Eddie Murray. So
That's
Eddie
close
Murray
one.
he was with a few teams, and he was good, dude. His average was up there. So I mean, it is what it is, dude. Hey, we reached this point right now. We're at 55 minutes. We have 5 more minutes before we get off. It is the power hour. I will love it if you guys can go ahead and hit that like button. If you're new to this show, go ahead and subscribe. This is what we do. We answer your questions. We talk baseball, current baseball. We start with the weekend recap, and we go ahead and move on with all the news. And we have our power rankings. If you just logging in, we just went ahead and did that. But dude, we had a lot of fun. Thank you guys for everybody that's on here right now. We couldn't do this show without you guys. It's a lot of fun when you guys interact with us. It's just so much fun, like I said, and being live and being asked a question like Ernie asked me right now is nerve wracking, but we love it. It's like when you're standing at home plate and you're waiting for Randy Johnson to throw that fastball, and you're like, "Oh, dang! I hope he doesn't hit me." Right?
Oh
So,
man.
dude, I mean, go ahead, dude. I don't know if you want to go give your last mentions.
Last mentions. I just want to thank everybody for tuning in or listening to the show. We really appreciate it. We hope to see you next Sunday to keep the same vibe going. And I also just want to give a special shout out to our fantasy baseball expert, Will Power. Happy birthday, wherever you are celebrating, bro. Hope you're enjoying it, and hope to see you this Thursday for more fantasy baseball news.
Suit, we have a question by Jose Velasquez. Who has been the player that has surpassed your expectations? So I'll let you go ahead and answer this one right now.
Oh man, that's
You
a
have
tough
player?
one right now. Ooh.
It is, right? It is. That's a good question, Jose. Like, man, you put us on blast right now.
Man, it's because there's so many. There's just been so many disappointing players, and then there's just been a bunch of players that have definitely surpassed our expectations. You got like David Fry, the Naders, Luis Rengifo, Ryan McMahon. Like where these guys come from? Bryce Turang. Dude, I could just name you continuously players that have just been playing at another level this year. And then you got the guys that you expected so much, like Julio Rodriguez, that hasn't done crap. And, Acuna unfortunately went down with an injury, but something was wrong since the beginning.
Yeah.
There's just
Ranger Suarez, Anthony
Ranger
saying,
Suarez, yes.
he's playing good baseball.
The names just continue to happen, right? You keep finding these players that, like, where did they just come from? They had terrible seasons before. And Brady Singer, Cole Reagans, Michael Walker, Alec Marsh, like all these guys are Lugo.
Dude, where did he come from? Like, it's like, what? Really?
Exactly.
Last year you didn't do nothing. And now you're all like ERA is super like nice and pretty, and you're like, what the hell? So
definitely.
Dude, there's so many players. Like I mean, my expectations, I had a lot more disappointments than I had expectations for certain players that are playing up, and you're like, dang. Jose Ramirez, we talked about, we said, oh, he's rated by a lot of MLB fans. But I mean, that's a really good question. That's a really good, and you named a lot of them right now, which is yeah.
You want to talk about disappointing? You got Lindor, McNeil, Brett Beatty, the Ace, Brent Rooker. What happened? He had a hot start last year. Rangers, they have played okay, but the pitching just went downhill. Like you're like, was this World Series championship just all luck? They just got hot at the right moment, basically, because the way they're playing today, they're not champions like they were last year.
Yeah, that's true. And then Anthony saying Lux has been disappointed for 2 years now. Well, last year he did not play, but that is a disappointment. So I know he didn't. Yeah, go ahead.
I will mention that there's more disappointing players this season than there's been surpassed expectations.
That's true. And I agree with you. I agree with that comment you just said. There's more disappointment because you expect these big name players, and Lindor is one of them. But Lindor, for me, has been in the downfall for a while now. Yeah. A lot of people has been saying, no, he's going to keep hitting in the 300s, but he's hitting under that. in my expectations for him, I feel like that's it. He already gave it his all. Chris Bryant is another one that I saw today that was like, he's batting 190 or 170 something. I'm like, what? And you had a big contract with the Rockies. Like, dude, did you just sign because you wanted to smoke weed out there, or what's going on? Like, like, oh, dude, like, it's awful. There you see, Vince has just put it. Chris Bryant has been really awful, and he was one of the biggest players with the Cubs when they went to the World Series and had all those playoff runs with the Cubs. And now you see him with the Rockies. It's like, what? What's going on?
Dude,
So
it's pretty bad. I don't know. The game of baseball, it feels like the pitching that's at another level these days, and we still have a lot of pitchers hurt, which is kind of confusing. So I'm not sure where the hitters are at these days, but they're not getting no contact to the ball these days. It's that's just true. Some tough pitchers.
Yeah, Jose. Hey, thanks for that question, man. Because that's a really good question. Really good question. May should have grabbed Jose Ramirez, not Frankie. Yeah. All right, guys, we reached that hour. I hate to do this. We can continue talking for 24 hours of baseball, but there's a time limit. We have a life. We have to go to work. We have to do things, and I'm pretty sure you guys have to do the same. But thank you guys for joining in. We had a few people on here. If you guys can hit that subscribe button, if you haven't done so, or hit that like, that will help us. If you don't like the show, tell us what we can fix. Tell us what we can do to make it a lot better. This is what we like to do. We like to talk baseball. Ernie, last mentions, you already good? We're good? We're ready to go?
Yeah, I think I'm ready to go. Thank you for everyone for listening and tuning in. Like I said, we'll catch you guys next Sunday night. I think we're going to do the same hour, 7:30, 7 o'clock. Let us know what best time works best for you guys. Looks like 7:30 is the time to get the party started, though. A lot of you guys joined in, and we really appreciate it. This is what, like Carlos said, the show's all about. Past my bedtime. I need to go to sleep. People go to work tomorrow. We're just here to make you guys have a great time. Avoid those Sunday scaries. Have us in the background. Make sure just to tune in. We really appreciate it, and we enjoy talking baseball. And there will be great news next week. We got the Yankees Dodgers next weekend, right?
Yeah.
So we have a lot to break down. So hope to see you guys here.
And we'll do the power rankings again. We'll do the power rankings again. All right. From all of us here, Real Talk Baseball on Carlos Baseball, this is Ernie Orange. Real Talk Baseball, signing out.